In-depth weekly astrology overview and zodiac forecast for week commencing the 18th of May for the ascendant, the sun, or the moon. Going to share the big themes of the week ahead, first of all. Then on screen, your adventure on Monday. Always provides an interesting backdrop for the week. I'll then go through each of the influences frame by frame to give you a clear picture of what you can expect in terms of your energy, work, relationships and finances. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundel. A very warm welcome. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, please do so now to help it to continue to thrive. But please also click or tap the bell notification symbol. It's a week when we have the sun returning to your sister air sign of Gemini after an 11-month absence on Thursday. But by Friday, the sun merges with your modern ruler Uranus. This is probably one of the most significant moments of the whole year. It's really exciting, but even as early as Monday, there's change with Mars, the planet of action, moving out of your third house, where he's been for the last 6 weeks, and moving into an area that's very much to do with your home, family, and emotional situation. And the new moon last week emphasized that. Mars brings a more hustle bustle energy. So if you're wanting to get some physical changes done, you're going to be determined to see them through. But on Tuesday, Venus the relator moves out of the vivacious Gemini and into the soothing, nurturing Cancer. What's the significance for you? By the end of the week, Aquarius, there is a quarter moon. It's in the precise practical Virgo, but linking back to the sun in Gemini. On the screen now is your event chart. And first of all, let's take a look at the two luminaries. So the sun in the sign of Taurus, just coming out of that new moon in that fourth house. So over the last month, you probably have been thinking quite a lot about your foundations, perhaps interested in genealogy, making some physical amendments to where you live, perhaps even moving altogether, or perhaps starting a home-based business or pushing on with one that's already in progress. But the moon starts this week in the fifth house, where she can be warm and affectionate, but in Gemini, very mentally alert. But just to say, Mercury, the planet of communication, also aligns with your ruler Uranus at the start of this week. So though Mars moves later on Monday into Taurus, a very, pardon me, grounding place for Mars to be, I think he just gives you a big determination to get some changes done, because Mars in Taurus can be very single-minded. I don't really want to say stubborn, but there could be a degree of that. Doesn't get angry, just digs in and gets obdurate. So if someone has not been turning up, getting a job done for you in the way you want, you're going to be chasing down other people who can. However, Venus moves on Tuesday into Cancer. Cancer really welcomes Venus. It's a very romantic place for Venus to be, but being the detached, cool Aquarius that you are, romance. But you know, right at the start of this week, there may have been someone you were chatting to over the weekend who really did actually call out to you because of Mars and Venus being in a sextile, but at that point in fire and air. Now, fire needs air, it oxygenates it. So you may have had quite a flirty encounter, but then Venus moves into 6 and Mars into 4. And on Tuesday, their exact sextile suggests that in an ongoing relationship, yes, there is a more playful dimension with Mercury applying to Uranus. But I think what you're also looking is for that heartfelt connection. And that could show up if you're in an ongoing tie. Pardon me. But by Thursday, the sun charges into Gemini and by Friday meets with Uranus. First time in 78 years. This is really rare stuff. But the fifth house is where you can showcase your unique brilliance. So having your modern ruler Uranus there is just going to maximize that. Aquarius people have a kind of duality, can be quite traditional in some ways and quite set in one's ways, and in other ways very progressive and open to different ideas. But it's that more progressive, outgoing, and brilliant side of your nature that really gets ignited towards the end of this week. Do have the confidence to go for it. But the quarter moon, which occurs on Saturday in the sign of Virgo, we know that Virgo energy, particularly around the home, does like a degree of order, but it's the eighth house for you, which could be something you're sharing, or it could be in a romantic relationship with the square to the sun and the fifth, which can be to do with romance. Things have got a bit heavy. Someone's being a bit controlling. There's dramas you don't need. And because of the sun's connection to Uranus, this is a unique quarter moon because I feel that any kind of leverage that's put on you, your instinct could be to, that's it, I need space. Now, that need for space may not be terminal, but it certainly could be immediate. And that's going to be intriguing how that plays out. But the fifth house energy certainly gives you a chance over the next weeks to really be more playful, to let your more charismatic nature really shine brightly. I'm going to go through each of those four areas, Aquarius, of energy, work, relationships, and finances next. But just to say, you can order your personal horoscopes and get three for the price of one now. I've reduced them. The one you pay for is your life roadmap report, which helps us to understand the patterns that are played out so far in our life, get a clearer understanding of them, and then work with those energies better future forwards. Free, your 12 months personal transit forecast, but also your draconic soul analysis. In your natal chart, if the North Node is not late in Pisces or early in Aries, your draconic chart can be very different from your nativity. And it can help you to look at yourself in a very different way. Some people relate better to their draconic chart than their natal chart. Please check that out below. If you've yet to watch your May monthly forecast, that's on the screen. Your Uranus 78-year return with the sun in Gemini, Cazimi, on the screen. If you'd like to work with me directly, please check out my testimonials below. And if you've yet to sign up and take advantage of my free daily written horoscope finds to your device each morning, please do so below. Get your early day celestial pit stop from me. So to summarize, when it comes to your energy, Venus joins up with Jupiter in the sixth house on Tuesday. The sixth house can be about our physical well-being. But also you do have Saturn still in the third house, which can be the nervous system. And Saturn's going to be there for the next 2 years. So for us Aquarius people, things that do trigger our nervous system is something we need to be conscious of as far as energy is concerned. But I actually feel this is a week with Mars moving into your fourth house. As long as you're grounded in where you're living, you feel connected to that place, you enjoy your immediate environment, and you're with people that you like being with, I don't see this being a challenging week for your energy. In terms of your work and professional situation, you can see that there's not really anything at the top of your chart this week. That doesn't mean to say that things can't happen for you. What I feel you need to do is showcase your natural brilliance, that part of you that has always seen trends, whether it is around fashion, music, colours, cultural changes, whether it is an embrace of things like astrology. Those are the things that really can spark you fantastically well at this time. So if you have got a more scientific or creative nature, that can feed into your work situation as long as you work with people who allow that to come out. But if you don't, well, that can change. And with Venus moving into that sixth house of work, your personality skills and ability to relate well to people can land particularly well this week if you do have an interview with someone. As far as your finances are concerned, obviously Venus and Jupiter are the two planets of fortune. They're going to be coming into an exact conjunction on the 9th of June. So that's in a very practical sixth house, can be about jobs. So if you're looking for one, good news could be coming your way. But of course, it depends on where that conjunction will be in your personal natal chart, not just as an overlay of Aquarius. But I feel as far as your romantic situation is concerned, this could be a very lively time, but it's all about going with the flow. Gemini energy can be quite flirty, but because you do have Mars desire in the fourth house, emotion, and Venus the related in the sixth house in Cancer, very much to do with emotion. However much someone is charming, flattering, and fun to be with, does it feel right? And do you feel that you could be comfortable with them beyond just the romantic dimension? That's the big question to ask. As far as neat money is concerned, the North Node continues through to the end of July, the true North Node, in your second house. And I guess we could argue that with Mercury squaring off to the North Node this week, there is a chance that if you do anything more speculative on a hunch, you need to be perhaps a little bit careful. But I think that your having Saturn, your traditional ruler in your third house, just slows things down a little bit. As much as a more glamorous, playful, and even flirty part of your nature can come out this week, when it comes to actually spending the cash, I still think you're going to want to look at the details. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been a real pleasure being with you. Have a great week. Look forward to seeing you again, and goodbye.